Staying true to yourself while creating, that's one of the hardest things you'll do. Every artist, entrepreneur, and creator faces the same tension. How do you honor your vision when bills need paying? When critics don't understand? What does it actually take to stay true to yourself in your creative work? What do you risk? And what do you gain by being yourself? I'm an actor, author, and entrepreneur, and my own journey has shown me that being authentic in your creativity requires courage. So settle in, these are honest conversations about what it means to create. Today's conversation is with Yesse Rodriguez, an actress, model, entrepreneur, and podcast host, and we are going to explore creativity and community and what it means to create authentically when everyone wants something from you. Welcome, Yesse.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining the podcast today. So for those who are not familiar with you and your work, do you want to give a brief backstory or background?
Yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. I am Yesse Rodriguez. I started my acting and modeling career at age 11 and 14. And then from there, I was able to be a part of an amazing nonprofit called Strive Media Institute. That's where I learned more of the filmography, content creation, editing, like the whole spiel when it comes to mass communication. So shout out to Matthew Johnson for that. He was a visionary with Strive Media.
Wow.
And then from there, I relocated shortly after graduating. And I would say it was a few years after graduating high school and then attending about a year of UW Milwaukee. I relocated to North Carolina, and then I continued on my career and pushing forward just different opportunities. And so I've gotten to the point where, because I've done so much, and I thank God for all the blessings, that I'm Googleable, yay, right?
Awesome.
So if you want to know more about me, you all can Google me under Yesse Rodriguez, Yesse Rodriguez. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything, to be honest, Nicole.
Yeah.
I just believe, a person shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
We're made for different reasons.
Right.
We have different talents.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that you have that talent until you tap into it, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, that's amazing. And you and I have worked on projects going all the way back, 10 years? So, I've watched you grow and blossom, and recently you've kind of dived into podcasting, which is amazing. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how that got started?
Absolutely. I appreciate you asking. So it's called Oyandia TV, which translates to Now and Today. I started back in 2018. I did it for 2 years in person, and COVID hit. Unfortunately, it affected a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I paused it for a while. I prayed, and then God was like, nope, keep doing it. So in 2024, March of 2024, actually, I relaunched it. And I had two amazing co-hosts at that time, but unfortunately there was a tragedy that happened with another co-host. Mm-hmm. So to the point where I had he was no longer able to join. The other co-host, he was always busy traveling. So he wasn't able to fully commit either. So I prayed. I was like, God, this is a lot, and I'm blessed to have this, but I need help, right?
Sure.
So God sent me two amazing female co-hosts. So I went from 2 males to now 2 female co-hosts. Wow. And they're just truly amazing. But I've been blessed with it overall. It's growing beautifully. We're at season 5 now.
Wow.
Season 5 of Oyandia. And so, yeah, it's pretty much about life, the topics. So
okay.
Anything with regards to life. So life, lifestyle, the ups and downs, the good, the bad. Mm-hmm. There's no topic that's untouched, because with life, that's what it is.
Right.
Today is good, today is bad, today you're healthy, today you may not be healthy.
Right.
Today you need to focus on your health. Have you done exercise? Mm-hmm. What about your relationships? What about how you present yourself? So anything with regards to life, mm-hmm. that's what Oyandia is.
Amazing. Have you noticed that from having 2 male co-hosts to now 2 female, has the conversation changed slightly? Has it gone more into more female-based topics, or is it just still overall life in general?
That's a great question, because I do see the differences, but it's always great to hear from the different perspectives based on gender, right?
Yeah.
See how the male gender sees certain topics compared to the female genders, mm-hmm. or women and men, I should say. Women and men, how we see different topics or have our own understanding. So I would say it was a blessing, because I was able to get the best of both worlds, mm-hmm. with genders, men and women, and then their thoughts on certain topics. Yeah. But it also stems from upbringing, right? Because all of us have different upbringings. Mm-hmm. So we don't know, based on our upbringings, what we've been exposed to, or what we may have been taught or educated, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's such a good point. And so now, based off what you just said, right? So upbringing, did your upbringing play a factor in you being able to, hop into these diverse creative industries? Did you have like a supportive family around you? Did they encourage, going forward and pursuing your creative dreams?
Great question. So growing up, it was like I already knew like at an early age that I wanted to do acting, modeling, and especially singing, which fun fact, a lot of people probably don't know this, but I actually went to Milwaukee High School of Arts and I studied opera and jazz.
What?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
And I got that inspiration from Selena. Like,
okay.
Growing up in Selena, I was like, come on out, float, I'm here singing, da, 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 right?
Yeah.
And then I came across, I was doing some research at an early age, and I'm like, ooh, there's a School of the Arts. Now, at that point, the city bus system, or the school bus system, I should say, didn't travel to where I lived. So I actually had to take 2 city buses just to get to school.
And you were based in Brooklyn, New York, right, this time?
Well, I was going back and forth between New York, but I was mainly raised in Milwaukee when I went to school.
Oh, gotcha.
So this was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, actually.
Wow, okay.
Milwaukee High School of the Arts, yeah. And so from there, it was a great experience. I studied opera and jazz, and support-wise, I had family support. I did.
Amazing.
Because especially going into Strive Media, I had to be dropped off at the different events. I was able to travel to Sao Paulo, Brazil at 17, which was really eye-opening. So fun fact for those parents listening, if you all, hopefully you don't, but if you have a bratty kid, I guarantee that if you take them to a third world country, they're going to open up their eyes.
Oh, sure.
Now, I'm not saying I was a bratty kid. I wasn't. But what I'm saying is at an early age, being exposed to the third world view to see how blessed we are here in the States, and then going to Brazil at 17 and be like, wow, these kids don't have it.
They have nothing, right?
I literally saw kids in the streets, like impoverished, like alone, really thin. Like you can tell that they were doing, drugs and all sorts of things. It was heartbreaking, but it was eye-opening for me. And I'm like, oh, thank you, God.
Right.
So being exposed to all of that, yes, I had family support because I wouldn't be able to do all that if I didn't. So,
right.
Yeah.
Do you ever draw from community and, your life experiences when you are pursuing acting and modeling? Like, does any of that have a factor in the work that you choose or the roles that you end up kind of migrating towards?
Yes, it does. It does, especially for me because I protect my image. I don't want to be that yes person for everything. I see a lot of roles coming around where it's like, oh, you have to do a sex scene or you have to do this and that. And I'm like, no, I'm a mother now.
Right.
I don't want my son 10, 15, 20 years down and be like, oh gosh, that's my mom. You know, like that's embarrassing.
Right.
So when it comes to community and it comes to all of that, yes, because I think about that. I'm I'm that person that thinks about the big picture, like, okay, this is me now, but how can this impact me later on? How can this impact my family?
Yeah.
How can people, like, what vision or thought or mindset are people going to have of me? Because I value that. I've worked hard to be who I am and to put my best foot forward.
Yeah.
So when it comes to community, yes, I think about all of that.
Yeah.
Especially choosing roles and being specific about what I do and don't do.
Have you ever faced criticism for, I don't know, maybe doing a certain modeling gig or a role in the past maybe that you have selected and you weren't really quite at that time thinking about your image? Have you ever faced any sort of criticism in that sense, or what would you say on that?
Thankfully, no. Thankfully, no, because throughout my career, I have been very specific. It's like I've been playing chess with my acting career.
Wow.
Right? It's not one of those things, like I take my career very, very seriously, where it's not one of those things where you can say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that's the downside that I see to a lot of new up and coming actors. They're quick to say yes, but it's like, okay, that's great, but not everything is a yes. Like you really have to sit down and think about it, especially when you want to be serious about this. How is this going to affect you down the line? Right. This can either open more doors or close doors as well. Right. So,
and Denzel Washington famously said that, he had turned down, there was some big role that he was offered in the beginning of his career. And it was, I'm not going to say the name of the movie, but it was a really derogatory, name for the title of the movie. And he said no, because he was thinking about how it would reflect later on in his career. So in a sense, he was playing chess early on in the game. You kind of do have to do that if you want to maintain your integrity throughout your work and be seen as a professional, not just someone who's who's desperate for attention. And I feel like, as an actor, we know this, we play this game, right? So we can understand the preconceived ideas that people have about us in our industry. What have you faced any of that at all? Or has anyone said anything to you mockingly or made you feel like, a certain way about the choices that you've made, like moving into more creative fields?
Yes, I would say with early on in my career, there was, because of the image I uphold, because I take care of myself, people prejudging. They're like, oh, well, who does she think she is? And it's like, well, wait a second, get to know me.
Right.
Like, it's not just about the looks, right? There's more behind us, right? And so as a fellow actor, like, we get that a lot. I don't know if you ever have experienced that, which I'm sure you have because you're beautiful. So, and I've noticed like the attractive actors are like, well, who do you think they are?
Right.
And it's like, but well, wait a second, you can take care of yourself too, sir, ma'am.
Right, like, exactly.
So when it comes to that, the misconceptions or the judgment of how you look, how you take care of yourself, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
You have to be presentable because you just don't know who you're going to encounter.
Right.
Especially with people that look up to you, your fans, your followers, even young kids growing up.
Right.
Like, you're showing them in a positive way that you can do all these great things. You just have to take care of yourself. People
immediately jump to judgment when they look at someone pursuing their dreams.
That's deep right there. I would say because deep down inside, they want to do it or have a desire to do something similar. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But I will say this, for whoever's listening, if you are one of those, there's so many tools and resources available, right? We have AI now. You can just go on ChatGPT or whatever your favorite AI is to say, hey, I want to start a career in acting or modeling or that. And it'll give you a breakdown of different things. Or even doing your research, doing YouTube, looking at past work that you've done, Nicole, past work that I've done. There's so many resources. You just have to be ready to step into that element, to do your research, do your homework, and really write down or even type if you're a typer or however, if you want to record it on your phone, however you want to do, right? But really sit down and create a game plan for yourself of how you want to do it.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, I feel in my gut, that's why. They want to do it. They see you do it. They're like, why them and not me? But guess what? You can do it too. You just have to put the work in.
Right. No, that's beautiful. And I'm so glad you offered suggestions for those who are listening, because it's hard when you want to pursue something and you might not have the community support around you to give you those resources. So that was beautiful. I'm glad that you did that for our listeners. So piggybacking off of my question, have you found yourself dealing with people in your world and in your community that didn't want to support you, or they didn't provide the support that you thought that they were going to?
Yes, I have. And with that, I accept people for who they are, right? If I find out that you are a non-supporter, which is okay, everybody has their own choices that they can make. I respect that. And I leave you where you are and I keep going. Because I still have so much more to do. It's like, okay, cool. You don't support me. Hey, peace. Much love to you. Wish you the best. And I'm gone. But that's just me. And not saying it in a bad way, but it's about protecting your energy and protecting your peace, right? It's like even I felt this with family too, which was a really hard pill to swallow, especially with family. When you think family is going to be in your corner and they're not, and you're like, oh, wow, okay. But me and my significant other, we pray every day. We pray to God to remove and rebuke those individuals who are not meant to be in our lives and to bring those who are meant to be in our lives, those divine connections that we call.
I love it.
And I'm going to be honest, Nicole, it's one of those things where you have to be careful what you pray for because God's going to answer.
Isn't that funny how that works? I do the same thing. I literally ask for those who are not meant for me to be removed, and then for those who are meant for me to come in. And it's hard when it happens. You're like, wait, no, I want that person. Where are they going? And it's like a natural phase out, but it's hard because you think you're building something with certain people in your life and you think that they're always going to be there for you. And that's not always the case. And, my mom always told me, friends come in for a season, for a reason. And I can't remember the third part, but not everyone that's in your life is meant to be there forever. You know, there are usually sometimes like one or two people that stay your entire life, but like otherwise people come and go. And I think the hardest part about not only just being a creator, but being a person in general is accepting that, you know, and accepting the fact that things do change. Yep. And the support changes. And sometimes the support you think you're going to get from a family member actually comes from a fan or a friend, a new friend that comes in, or, you know, a new business partner or something like that. And dealing with that and reconciling, that is hard. So, I mean, do you feel like you currently now have a nice support network around you that you feel comfortable? Or do you feel, are there times when you feel kind of almost like out in the ocean by yourself?
I do. I have a good support network.
Good.
But that's on purpose because, again, protecting your energy, being selective, praying to God, God bringing those that are supposed to be aligned with you, and vice versa, right? Because they're not only helping you, you're helping them as well.
Right.
Right. This is more of a partnership, walking together with those that God brings into your life. And right now, yes, growing older, right? I'm blessed to have a good support connection, and even those that are still yet to come. Like, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about those divine connections that are going to be coming down the pipelines.
I love it. I love it. Yes. I really do. You know, you mentioned energy, right? So I think this is another thing that you learn as you get older is you learn to be discerning with different energies, because there are people that come in that can be energy vampires. Ooh. Have you experienced that? Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about that? Like maybe give almost insights so that those who are listening that might not be familiar with what that is, like what that means and how to navigate that? Yeah,
absolutely. So energy vampires, for those who are not familiar with that term, those are people who pretty much deplete your energy in a point blank, so to speak, right? And so what I've done is, again, because I accept people for who they are, I am one of those that I just let them talk. Like, especially because, okay, and let me backphrase when I say that. When I say let them talk, I say that to say everyone's carrying some sort of weight. Not everyone knows how to deal with that. And I'm blessed where people come to me because I have that aura, that opening, welcoming, because I do love and accept people for who they are, that they can come and say, oh, let me talk to Yesse. She can be the listening ear. Yeah. Even though, yes, to me, it could be an energy vampire, but then at the same token, let me flip it over. I'm blessed because they can find it in me.
Right.
Right. And so for those listening, it's one of those things where you have to really see, is this person really in need of having that listening ear? Because although it can deplete your energy, because now it's like, okay, this person's giving me all this negative, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, okay, why did they choose you?
Right. Yeah.
You could be that sounding board for them. Or if it gets to the point where it starts to disturb your peace, then it's an opportunity for you to say, hey, you know, thank you for confiding in me, but I feel like a lot of what I give you as advice, you're not taking it. You're still going back to one, right? When we should be at 10 at this point. And I think it's time for, like, I value your friendship. I love you. I value our bond, but maybe it's time for us to, like, either part ways if you feel that, or say, let's not even talk about this anymore. Finding ways to really be mindful of how you approach people, because again, we're all carrying different things that we don't know of.
Right.
The other person may not know what you're carrying.
Right.
Being careful, being mindful of that. So going back to the energy vampire, it's really choosing and being selective of, do I want to sit and listen? Why? And also determining if you've had this ring around the rosy back to back to back, you're listening to the same thing over and over and over again, then yes, that's truly an energy vampire at that point, deciding how do you want to proceed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's so important to be able to be discerning with energies like that, because we are all energy vessels, right? And we have important things to do in the world. And protecting our peace is important as we move and we navigate life. You mentioned mindfulness, of course. Do you have like a specific philosophy or techniques or traditions that you follow to keep yourself grounded and you know, in a nice, healthy minded sense?
Yeah, so I pray a lot, especially in the morning when I wake up. I pray, I give thanks. I pray what I shared earlier about removing and rebuking. And also I'm thankful. Like in my prayer, I say, thank you, God. Thank you for all the things that I have. And then I list everything that I have. Like this is something I do routinely in the morning and even at night before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And also stepping outside. A lot of people don't understand the importance of getting that energy from the sun to the vitamin D, getting that sunlight. I know a lot of people may be at home and because it's warm, it's pollen season, I get it. I battle with allergies too, but I purposely make sure that I go out and get some sunlight. Hydration is also important. And these are things that taking care of yourself in a nutshell is key. A lot of people, for whatever reason, don't. Like the other day, I asked someone, when's the last time you drank water? She's like, I don't like water. And I'm like, well, our body is like 70% water, ma'am. So you need some water, right? And so I say that to say, I want to remind the viewers and listeners, you got to take care of yourself. And that does look different for everyone. I'm just sharing some of the things I do. But with me, prayer, hydration, and making sure that I'm outside, and also spending time with my son and my honey, my amor, and then my loved ones, like that really gives me joy and cheer and re-energizes me. So,
Is this something that was instilled in you in childhood, or is this something you've learned and integrated throughout your life?
A balance, childhood and then learning throughout life as well.
Yeah.
And with me, I'm a very observant and analytical person. And I'm always one that I like to look for solutions, even though I can't save the whole world. And I get it. I would love to save the whole world, but I can't, right? But I'm one of those that I look at the root cause and I say, okay, person A is acting that way. Why? What is the root cause? And then I challenge myself to really get to know or get to the bottom of it. And the reason why I do that is because I want to understand the person. I don't want to judge. I'm not here to judge you.
Right.
And you shouldn't be here to judge me either. You know, we shouldn't be here to judge each other at all. Again, we all have our own lanes to walk, our own purposes. And it's just about how we execute and move forward with that. But yeah, I know I said a lot, so.
No, that was great. No, I love it. You know, how, on that note, like how important is, you know, you mentioned family and you've got a nice support network. And I asked you earlier, you know, if you have that network with you now, how important is community to you? And how does your work reflect that?
Yeah, community is important. And again, we're going to have those individuals who are not going to support you, but having the right people in your corner, you can get far. But also being mindful that you have to have yourself in your own corner too. You have to have your own back. Especially when others may not have it for you. So in general, like thankfully, I am blessed with a good support system that I do have, but it did take the wrong people to fall off with the prayers, right? And the right people to come to build up that support system. But also pushing forward, because there's going to be some days where you may not see that around. Like, where's my support network? You have to keep pushing. You cannot allow yourself to feel down, get down. And the times that I have felt that way, Nicole, I pray. I say, God, please remove these whatever negativity I'm thinking about, remove it. I don't even want to deal with it. And it works. Trust me, like once I pray and I take a breath and I'm like, okay, I feel better. Thank you. And so, it's one of those things where it's like community is important, but also having your back is important too. You have to have your own back. You have to know what you want. And I get it, a lot of people don't know what their purpose is. A lot of people could be 40, 50, 60 and still don't know what their purpose is. And that's okay. But if you don't, I do have great resources that I can help connect with them whenever they're ready to help you find your purpose. So
And you know, you had also just mentioned like wanting to save the world, right? And do you think that that's overly ambitious? Actually, I take that back because I don't think it's overly ambitious. Do you think other people might perceive that as being overly ambitious? Like, here she is out here doing this and doing that and, you know, trying to save the world, you know, but, you know, what's so bad about that, you know? And if you could save the world, you know, where would you start? I mean, is it the work that you're doing, or would you pivot and do something else?
Yeah. So thankfully, with us being in the limelight, I say us because you're also a professional actress and podcaster, right? So we're both in the forefront, right? And just using our platforms to be that voice for those individuals who don't have that. Also, like looking at what's happening in our world today, it breaks my heart. When I wake up, I'm like, wow, like TSA workers should not be going to work and not getting paid, right? And then I start thinking about, well, why is TSA funded through the government? Why not state level? Why not use tourism dollars to fund TSA and keep it in-house. So I think about, again, solution-oriented, thinking about possible solutions of ways to restructure just what's happening today, because what happened and what worked 10, 20 years ago, we're in a new time, in a new era that may not work.
Right.
It may have worked then.
Yeah.
But what about now?
Right.
We've changed and evolved so much. That's one. And then also with the children, like I have so many ideas and strategies about helping those kids who are in foster homes or growing up in broken homes. Like that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because those children growing up in broken homes, once they get older, based on their upbringing, that's going to pour into our society. Hence why we see high crime rates. Hence why we see robberies and all that, because in that broken home, they probably didn't learn none of that.
Right.
So it's just thinking about all of that is what when I say saving the world, finding different alternatives or solutions. And I know it's going to take me to reach out to maybe the governor to say, hey, can we sit down and have a chat? And these are some of the ideas that maybe you could bring to the House, to the Senate, to the Congress overall.
Yeah.
But that's something that I've been really pondering on for the last year. I've been writing down and creating different presentations.
Amazing.
So eventually, that's going to be my plan, is to go to the leaders.
Wow, that's incredible. And it's so interesting. What you were just saying just kind of sparked this in my mind. Because leaders, our leadership, they're supposed to be public servants, right? They're supposed to serve the public. And what I've found is that more of that is happening with younger creators, with actors and writers and influencers. We are the people that are almost driving and shaping. We always have been. The performers and the creatives have always driven and shaped society. But what I'm noticing is that it's becoming more prevalent now, especially with social media. There's more access. People are more connected, and we're seeing a sort of phasing out of the old guard of the public servants, who are people who are supposed to be public servants, but aren't really serving the public, right? So the fact that you, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, as an actress, and everything that you do, model, podcast host, it's like you are using your platform to be a true public servant and to truly serve the public and serve the communities.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wouldn't you say? And I mean, do you want to speak more to that? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do. That's why Oyandia is so dear to heart to me, is because of that. It's about life, lifestyle, and what we're dealing with today is our life and our lifestyle. It's affecting families. And this is something that I always say, if whoever ever listens to my podcast, you're going to hear me say this often. Midterm elections are important. And it's really sad that only a fraction, I would say the last time I looked at the statistics, it was I would say average of 40 to 50% of people that go to vote compared to the presidential election, because they make a big hoopla about it.
Right.
Hurrah, this is the president. Midterm elections are important.
Right.
I can't stress that enough, because those are the delegates, the representatives that are going to represent the House, that are going to represent the Senate, that makes overall Congress, that affect the laws in each state. A lot of people do not know that, Nicole.
Right.
And hence why we're sitting where we are today.
Yeah. They're the ones that make the decisions on the roads and everything internal to the state that's done on a state level. Those are, what you're saying, are the midterms, and people need to connect more on that level and get involved more in their community. Yeah,
exactly. So, and why I'm bringing that up is because of that. Midterm elections affect how we are day to day. So people, if whoever you find yourself complaining to say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I encourage you to vote, because not only does it affect the roads and everything, it affects the funding that goes to the schools. It affects the funding that goes to the WIC programs and what have you. So just different, I really looked into it and I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people don't know that. And so using my platform, using that to help the community, to educate the community, to make sure that they are aware and educated. That is pretty much what Oyandia is my podcast is to positively motivate, enlighten, educate, inspire, and entertain the viewer and listener with each and every episode. So.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. I mean, it's so powerful what you're doing. Are you considering running for Senate or mayor or something like that? I think you'd be great.
Not yet. I would love to, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
First, I really want to get to know the ins and outs of all of that. I really want to understand it and absorb it fully before I take that step forward.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you asked that, because in general, we do, when I say we, our people need voices like ours to really hear the people to say, I hear you, let me find what possible solutions we can consider.
Right.
Because again, being mindful that this is not just about our voice. Now, once you're part of the Congress, you have all these different votes from the state of this, from the state of that. They have to vote as well, and they can either vote for or against. So it's just so many moving parts, so much to it. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe 20, 30 years down the line when I'm older. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think you would be phenomenal with it. Just like your influence in the community, the fact that, people can Google you and find out that you have integrity and you care so much about your work and how it affects people, and you care about being a positive role model. I feel like we're in this day and age where everyone wants to be famous, and it's all the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. And we need true leaders, true leadership. We need people who understand our effect on the community, how to maintain integrity, how to deal with energy, different energies and energy vampires. And it's like I was saying about the changing of the guard, we're in the midst of that. And I feel like, people like you, people like, our other guests that we've had on the podcast, hopefully someone like myself, we're actively working towards making a positive change in the world. So I appreciate you so much for all the work that you're doing. And for those who are listening and watching, where can they find out more about you? You mentioned it earlier, but let's reiterate that.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. This was amazing. I always enjoy our conversations, and you just have a beautiful energy. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, for those who want to find me and follow me, I have a website, www.yesserodriguez.com. Also, you can Google me, Yesse, Yesse Rodriguez, and the is at the end. Also, for those who don't know, I'm actually, I've been working since last year on Slay the Scene Acting and Modeling Academy. So,
oh my goodness.
So it's a modeling and acting academy. It's going to be multi-level. So it's starting at level 100, 200, 300, etc. Especially from the acting perspective, for those who really want to get serious about acting and modeling and have they don't know where to start. Come on, log into my website, YesseRodriguez.com. You're going to see on the upper left-hand corner, it's going to be a tab that says Slay the Scene Acting Academy. Amazing. And you can sign up and work with me, and it's going to be very informative. Like, I'm not going to leave a leaf unturned. Like, I want you to know about set etiquette, set language, starting the different techniques of acting. Like, the whole spiel is what I plan to do in this academy as well.
Wow, incredible. Amazing. I mean, I'm floored. This is so, you're such a blessing. I appreciate you so much. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.